HOA patrol mocked my bull again, now their new trucks stuck in our creek. The Karen wildflowers were in full bloom, their purples and yellows painting the hills like a defiant flag against the orderly world the HOA craved. I stood by the creek, my boots sinking into the damp earth, my bull Samson snorting softly beside me. His massive frame, scarred from years of labor, was my pride, my family's legacy. But to the HOA patrol, he was just a filthy beast, a blemish on their pristine vision of the neighborhood. They'd mocked him for year-snide comments, petty fines, even a petition to ban livestock. Today, though, their brand-new patrol truck was axle-deep in our creek, and I couldn't help but feel the bitter sting of justice. Started at dawn. My daughter, Lila, 16 and fiercer than a storm, had overheard them laughing at Samson again. "That cow's a walking dumpster," one sneered, a wiry man named Greg, whose HOA badge gleamed like he thought it made him king. Lila's fists clenched, her freckled face red with fury. "They're patrolling closer, Pa," she whispered. "They're coming for us." I nodded, my jaw tight. The HOA had been tightening their grip, issuing notices about our unkempt land, our savage bull. They wanted us gone, our way of life erased for their cookie-cutter suburbia. By noon, their truck roared up, kicking dust across our wildflower fields. Greg led the charge, flanked by two Othursa women with a clipboard and a younger guy, barely 20, who looked uneasy. "Your bull's a hazard, Tom," Greg barked, pointing at Samson. "We're fining you double this time." Lila stepped forward, her voice sharp. "He's on our land. You got no right." Greg smirked, tossing a citation at my feet. "We'll see about that." That's when it happened. Their truck, parked too close to the creek's edge, began to slide. The ground, soft from last night's rain, gave way. With a groan, the shiny vehicle tipped, its front wheels sinking into the mud. Greg cursed, scrambling to the driver's seat, but the engine only whined, tires spinning uselessly. Lila's eyes gleamed, and I fought a grin. Our creek had spoken. The argument exploded. Greg shouted about lawsuits, the woman scribbled furiously, and the young guy, his name tag read, Evan, stared at the ground, muttering apologies. "This is your fault," Greg yelled, jabbing a finger at me. "You and that damn bull." I crossed my arms. "Maybe if you'd left us alone, your truck wouldn't be swimming." Lila laughed, loud and unapologetic, and Samson snorted as if in agreement. The tension crackled, each word a spark ready to ignite. Then came the twist. Evan, the quiet one, stepped forward. His face was pale, his hands trembling. I grew up on a farm," he stammered. "My dad had a bull like yours. The HOA forced us out, too. I didn't sign up for this." Greg whirled on him. "Shut up, kid." But Evan kept going, his voice breaking. "They're good people. You're bullying them for nothing." The air shifted. The woman with the clipboard hesitated, her pen frozen. Greg's authority crumbled, his face a mask of rage. For a moment, I saw doubt in his eyes, a crack in the HOA's armor. But the victory was fleeting. Greg stormed off, vowing to return with tow trucks and lawyers. By dusk, they were gone. Their truck still stuck, a gleaming monument to their hubris. Lila and I sat by the creek, Samson grazing nearby. "We won today, Pa," she said, her voice soft but proud. I nodded, but my heart was heavy. The HOA wouldn't stop. They'd come back with more fines, more threats, until our land, our bull, our way of life was gone. As the sun dipped below the hills, I thought of Evan. His confession had been a flicker of hope, a reminder that not everyone in their ranks was heartless. But hope doesn't pay fines or stop bulldozers. The wildflowers swayed in the breeze, their beauty a fragile rebellion against the world closing in. Lila leaned against me, her warmth a quiet anchor. "We'll fight, Pa," she whispered. "For Samson. For us." I hugged her tight, but the truth gnawed at me. This was no triumph. The creek had trapped their truck, but the HOA's grip was a noose, tightening with every clash. The next morning, we found a new notice nailed to our gate. Livestock removal order. 30 days. My stomach sank. Lila's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. She grabbed a shovel, ready to dig their truck out only to make the creek deeper. I stopped her, my voice hoarse. This ain't the way, kid. But inside I was breaking. Samson was more than a bull. He was our defiance, our roots. Losing him meant losing ourselves. The HOA's truck stayed stuck, a bitter trophy, but the cost was clear. We'd humiliated them, but they'd bury us in paperwork, fines, and time. The wildflowers would bloom again next spring, but would we still be here to see them? Evan's betrayal of his own had lit a spark, but it wasn't enough. The world was changing, and we were relics, fighting a war already lost. What do you think? Was our stand for Samson worth the cost, or should we have bowed to the HOA's demands for peace? Share your thoughts on justice, community, and what it means to fight for what's yours.